This was sent to me by Rise. And it's another experience with a Ouija board. I have more of these I can do tomorrow. Let's see here. Our experiences on the Ouija board were nothing like how it's portrayed in the old commercials, said Rise. There was no, are you moving it? You're moving it. Did it just move? No. When it was working for us, there was no question about it. The pointer would zip smoothly from letter to letter with complete precision, constantly heading in unexpected directions, going so fast that it was a challenge for us to even keep up with. I personally experienced it as one of the two people on the board. For many of these experiences, I'm going to tell you, neither of our hands were ever touching the damn thing. It would just come alive, seemingly almost charged by the energy coming from our body and stemming from our fingers. The trick was to keep your hands close enough to maintain the energetic connection while it still keeps them far enough in the way not to get in its way. When it was working, you'd know because both of your arms would go completely numb from your fingers to your shoulders. In addition, depending on the type of experience we were having, there'd be this heavy energy in the room, be it dark or light, that would hang over our heads so clearly that you can almost see it, let alone feel it. And then he said he wanted to let you know that we were 15 and drug-free at the time. Keep that in mind. The first story, and we're only going to do the first story tonight, involves an entity that called themselves Zeze. At first, he told us that he was a 9-year-old boy. His spelling, this is Z-E-Z-E. His spelling seemed to indicate that he was a spirit of a child. However, that didn't add up to his other claim. He said that he was in hell and that he had killed his mother. He'd even gave us the address and the phone number of his family and asked us to contact them with a message. We never did. His presence was evil. You could feel it. I remember watching in disbelief during these prolonged moments of fear-induced silence, as the dial piece tracing a circular path across the board at a rate of about 2 rotations a second. 2 rotations a second, no lie. I'll never forget the sound of the dial pads sliding across a smooth cardboard surface like voom, voom, voom. It was deafening. He kept pointing to the letter N, and then it would circle, circle, circle. We asked what in the hell, what it was like in hell. We asked him, what was it like in hell? And his response was N, the letter N, as in Nancy. Followed by the infernal circling. Finally, one of us asked what N stood for. And then he spelled out, it never ends. Never ends. It never ends. He kept saying it over and over again. You could feel it. The circular path he kept spinning along like a representation of hell and the infinite nature of that dimension. Whatever it is, he definitely had a connection to it, escaping momentarily, at least in part, to report on it and warn us, or maybe even pull us in. At one point, my friend said, prove to us that you're really here, that you can see us. At this point, to our horror, he began spelling out our first names in the order in which we were sitting. There were 12 of us sitting outside in my parents' deck around the circular table, so it was clear that the order was. He went around the room naming each of us one by one, but before he could spell out the last name on the list, completing the circle, my friend stood up and yelled, "Fuck this." As he flipped the board off the table and turned on the lights, we looked around at each other, wide-eyed and terrified. No one said a word as the air cleared and the dark energy lifted. My friend explained how he felt that if Zeze had completed that circle, some sort of portal to hell would have opened, to which we all agreed. None of us were raised in devout religious or superstitious families or anything, yet we all understood and agreed that's how real that shit got. This was our last time messing around with the Ouija board. Here's the kicker, though. A few years ago, I came across this article from Scare Normal magazine on Zozo, the demon, who uses Ouija boards to terrorize unsuspecting kids. Also goes by the name Zaza or Zuzu, or you guessed it, Zeze. This shit chilled me to the bone. Well, that's it. That's all that Rise had sent in to me. The demon that was the focal point in the movie The Exorcist, I believe, was Pazuzu. So, yeah, fuck that.